Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gallagher Shots YouTube channel. You're back with your Always Smiling Faces podcast and we are here for the match preview of the fourth round League Cup game against Newport County away in South Wales. How professional was that, eh?
That was very good. Probably the most professional thing we've ever had on the show, if I'm being honest. Can you imagine if this was...
I was trying to put this plug cover in my eye socket when he was saying it. So I'm balls down. I'm sorry, Mark.
Hashtag
imagine if this was the level, like we were doing podcasts every week. We're like, oh well, we've got Newport away on Saturday, and can you imagine if I got to that level where this is what it would be like? We've got Morecambe next week. We've got Newport the week after. Can we get promoted?
The life of a Sunderland fan.
Yeah, true.
But no, it is. We're coming up against our second League Two opponents in the space of a week. Well, just over a week because we're playing on Wednesday night, which is live on Sky Sports with a 5:30 kickoff. So we've got an early start on Wednesday. So we'll be tuning into that one to watch it. But what are we thinking, boys? So Besty, I'll come to you first. What do you think about Newport County?
It's the team that we got a record win against, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's 13-0. Yeah.
I think Len White scored 6. I remember it well. You were there, Mark, weren't you?
Hey, man and boy, I think it was my 16th birthday.
They're going quite well this season. A third League Two as things stand. I mean, it's one of those ones where a Premier League team against a League Two team, you think you should win every time, but that's not how football works. They've just beaten Bolton at the weekend, although Bolton are having a bit of a rotten time of it in a minute, So yeah, it's hard to say really, but potential banana skin.
It is, yeah. I mean, so they've just beaten Watford in the last round, Deka, and I think they played Oxford and.
Cambridge and Swansea.
Cambridge, Oxford. You always get those two mixed up, don't you?
It's glorious, isn't it?
But these are obviously we played Oxford last season in the cup, and Swansea always up and down between the Championship and Premier League. Watford recently relegated, so no slouches these teams. So they've got to fancy their chances at home coming up against us, Decker.
Well, I think put yourself in their position. For their players will be absolutely thrilled, really geared up for this game on Wednesday. Like it's a chance in a lifetime for them, isn't it, to play against a team that's. I'm sure I seen a tweet from the Morecambe account, which was hilarious when we were beating them, and they went down to 10 men, and it was like, oh, we're down to 10 men, and we're playing against an opposition which has currently got £200 million worth of players on the pitch, like. And that's what they put on, and I'm sure Newport players will be thinking that God, we're going to go up against X or Fraser or Joe Linton or whatever. I don't know. So them should be bang up for it, And it's always a banana skin, isn't it? You're live on the telly on a wet and cold, windy night. Like of course we all know the qualities. We should beat them. We're not daft. Of course we should. But it's a banana skin that I didn't like the sound of, to be honest with you. But sorry, I have to mention something, and it's a ridiculous thing to say, but you mentioned Bolton there, Bestie. I've just checked the league table there. They're third bottom of League Two, Bolton. Bloody hell. Jesus, man. And it frightens me how fast you can fall. Like, it frightens us, honestly. But, yes.
Obviously, with them going into administration last season, they were kind of, it was an 11th hour kind of save, wasn't it, when they got taken over? They could have gone the same way as Bury quite easily.
I just think the El Hadj Diouf days and the Djorkaeff. I know this is not a bold podcast. I apologise. I just wanted to say, it's just weird. It's just very weird.
AJ Okocha. Who could forget him?
That's right. Yeah.
So good they named him twice.
Yeah, fucking mental, man. But yeah, sorry, Mark. What's your thoughts for Wednesday?
I think it is going to be one of those where we're going to have to be at our best if we can put in a performance like we did in the last round, with the team that were put out and really going for it from the kickoff. We should have more than enough. We're going to have one or two injury worries. Of course, we're going to have Richie's definitely missing after he went off injured at the weekend. saying you'd probably think we're not going to risk him based on the fact that he didn't get a game at the weekend. Fraser was missing as well, who you would expect to have came in and started. So it's unlikely that he's going to get in there. But you think you're going to see Joe Linton up top again. I don't think it'll be too much of a dissimilar team to what we saw in the last cup game, bar those injuries. I think Lewis will come back in as well because he's now literally the only fit left back that we've got, unless we do what we've done previously and stick Yedlin over there or Manquillo, one of the two to play that way. But I'd certainly be expecting us to go down there and have a strong enough team to be able to cause them problems. So I'd take us to get a victory.
The one thing I will say, and for all the criticism Bruce does get, the one thing you can't hold against him is he does try in the cups in regards to the team that he puts on the field. He always tries to pick within reason the best available. And the Morecambe performance was a great one, regardless of the opposition. I appreciate they were poor, but the performance was tremendous. It was. And that's what you're hoping for again, aren't you? You're hoping for that. Be on the front foot. You know what I mean? Don't let them get a hold on the game. And I agree, it'll probably be Gillespie will be back in goal, for example, and Kraft will probably come in. It is an interesting one at the top of the field. What will happen? Because Joe's played 2 games there, hasn't he? Back to back. He's played the weekend, then he played midweek, then he's played the weekend. I don't think you'll be able to play again. Personally, you're probably not going to start Carroll because he'll be shit scared in case he gets hurt. You're not going to start Wilson though either, are you? Like, it's a tough one. It's a difficult one to see what he'd probably start with. Like.
Well, that literally takes care of all of the strikers that we've got at the club at the minute. Because obviously
I've ruled everyone out.
Gone out, so you'd expect Murphy definitely to come in and take his position back out on the right, who did very well in the last round. Probably one of the best players on the pitch, and
definitely.
Maybe Longstaff come back into the middle. I think Matty's in with a chance of maybe being making it back into the squad as well. So
that was my question. Has he been hurt? Has he, Matty?
Yeah, he's been out injured over the last couple of weeks. So, but he's started training and getting in with a chance of being involved, whether it's bench or in the team. I think maybe come too early for him to start, like I would have thought.
Yeah. I think Sean will be in there, as you've said. Sean Yedlin, for example, will probably come back in. The striker one doesn't actually interest us more and more, because I've said that maybe Joe Linton could play, but that's 3 games in 3 for him, and I don't know. He looked a bit leggy, because he, as I said to you, I think he played well last game, and I thought he worked hard. He was, he looked tired towards the end. He looked leggy, you know what I mean? But so that'd be an interesting one to see him play. I don't think Miggy will play, whereas he played against Morecambe. I just can't see him playing personally. So it'll be an interesting lineup, actually, the more I think of it. Like.
Yeah, it's not quite as straightforward this time, Besty, is it?
It's not. Like Deka says, we've had players that have kind of flitted between if you want to call them the cup team and the league team, over the past couple of weeks now, and it's one of those kind of points of the season where it's very early in the season, but we've been saying for a while that the games are going to be compressed in such a way that you've got to kind of use your squad a bit more. I mean, if Fraser's fit, does he try him again, or does he think I will give him a bit more time out? I think Yedlin will play. I was wondering when you're on about maybe Yedlin or Manquillo going left back, and it's got nothing to do with footballers, but when a right back plays left back, do you reckon it's like when you drive abroad? like you open the door instead of changing gear and that.
I always do that. Try to go to get into the driver's side, and you end up getting into the pass, and you're like, oh, not again.
just force a habit in it, but yeah, I think. I mean, the whole team. There's not really. I think you'd probably rest Almiron as well. But there again, you're looking who's fit. Murphy's probably going to be a shoe in. Longstaff, I imagine, will play. Barleza, or Barleza, or however you pronounce his surname. I would imagine, because he's quietly impressed, I think, during the cup matches. I think out of the strikers, he's probably most likely to go with Carroll.
Could maybe start with Carroll and have a bit of backup on the bench.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe Carroll and Joe Linton. I would be very surprised if Wilson was in the squad even. So I don't think he's been in the squad for the cup matches previously. I think he's just been left out altogether.
The Morecambe game, he was left out altogether. And in fairness, I probably agree with that to the stretch. I think you need to protect certain players. Yeah. And for example, well, actually, I was Mark mentioned there, Saint obviously not playing at the weekend. So the injury that he got against Brighton, I'd imagine must have been an injury then, because obviously he didn't make it back for Tottenham. So he's either really good at faking it, and he's got the club staff on his side. But I wouldn't risk him at this game. I just wouldn't bother. You know what I mean? Just leave him be, like, type of thing. We should have enough into that, enough in the squad to be able to beat these without having to rely on Saint, for example.
Well, you've got options on the left. Obviously, somebody that hasn't featured too much has been Atsu, who can play out on the left. He's still hanging around in the background somewhere of the club. So
I know I'm going to sort of change a bit, but like, so your Mutus, for example, and your Atsu is like, there hasn't been much rumours of them leaving, has there? Like, moving on.
Well, except Mutu, who now plays in Spain.
Well, apart from Mutu, yeah. But I haven't done that on Football Manager yet. I haven't updated that yet. But there were Atsu was
rumours Atsu's going to, was it Celtic or Rangers?
Celtic, Celtic.
Yeah, Celtic, I heard that,
Yeah, so, but he hasn't. Yeah. That hasn't happened yet, anyway. But I agree. Maybe Atsu one side, Murphy the other, Carroll up front, perhaps. Longstaff and Barcella, how I pronounce his name, in midfield. In the back four, Kraft might he filled in at a centre half against Morecambe, so he might actually do that again, because you're not exactly expecting to be under much pressure here, are you? Let's be fair. So.
But this is a team. I mean, we mentioned the teams that have beaten in the cup so far. Like, Swansea are third in the Championship at the minute. Cambridge are top of League Two, and they're pumping teams. And Watford are fifth in the Championship. So these are, I mean, they're not just kind of the teams that started the season well as well, and that they've got 3 good results there. So.
And did you say they were 1 point ahead of Morecambe?
1 point, yes. 1 point ahead of them. Aye.
So I'll try my best to be positive and look at that pot. We've just thumped someone that's 7 out and they're only 1 point ahead of them. But it's early days. But I totally take what you're saying, though, because beating Watford, I think they beat them 1-0. I could be wrong there. But they beat us. What, sorry?
3-1 it was.
Oh, was it? That is impressive, like. That is impressive, like, to be fair, like.
Swansea was 2-0 as well. I mean,
confidence levels are coming down.
Hey, Christ. And now we're bad, but Jesus Christ, we've got to be able to beat these, surely. But hey, if they do win, though, all of a sudden you're on a bit of a cup run, right? Because is it the quarterfinals next?
Yeah.
Hey, well, we all know we'll get the semis and get humped off someone. But anyway, it would be nice, right?
Let's not run before we can walk. We've got to overcome this game first of all. So, Deka, what's your prediction?
5-0 Newcastle. No, honestly, no. I'm kidding. I'm going to go 2-0. 2-0
for them.
No.
Deka's going 2-0 Newcastle. Besty?
I think I'm going to say 3-1 Newcastle. I think that, I mean, you've got to be wary of a team that start the season as well as they have. But a Premier League team against a League Two team shouldn't be getting beat. No. That said, and we've done podcasts like this before where we've said that, but remember Stevenage and remember Oxford and stuff like that. So there's always that little kind of doubt in the back of your head, like on your, or the kind of on your shoulder. But yeah, you'd hope. I mean, it would be it wouldn't be a shock, but it would be it would have fuel of a kind of anti-Steve Bruce fire with them not to get through this one. Like,
it'd be a shambles, mate. I'll be honest with you. If you can't beat a League Two opposition, that's just unacceptable.
So I think we've got enough from the squad to be able to put out a strong team to be able to cause them problems. I think the thing to be wary of is the fact that they can score goals, as they've shown against, higher up in the league standings in the previous rounds. So I expect them to score, especially with a bit of a makeshift back 4-5 if you include the keeper, depending on kind of how we're playing. So, but I think I'll take us to win 2-1.
Clean sweep there.
That's it. So three victories predicted. So we shall see how that turns out. But thank you to our sponsor, GEORDIE Gifts. You can find them in the Granger Market. More coming this week from the channel, so stay tuned. But as ever, gentlemen, thank you for your company, and we'll see what happens on Wednesday night. Take care.
All the best, lads.
Cheers,
Take care.
lads.
Bye, lads.